All right, for each problem, an angle in standard position is in the xy plane is given in radians. A circle is centered at the origin with the given radius. What are the coordinates of the point of intersection of the terminal ray of the angle in a circle? So it wants the coordinates. What are the coordinates right here? Make sure to read that question carefully. So that means the answer should be in the form of xy. Knowing that, you need to know how to get those formulas. So to get x, you need to have the radius times the cosine of theta. And to get y, you need radius times the sine of theta. So we have radius is 6. So for each of those, I'm going to have 6 times cosine. And in this case, the theta is 3 pi over 2. And over here for the y value, r times sine 3 pi over 2. So if you're having a hard time, how do I know the sine and cosine of 3 pi over 2? You might want to write it out, draw it out, the unit circle or the basics of the unit circle. Pi halves, pi, 3 halves pi. And there's a 2 down there. Doesn't fit, but it goes down there. Okay, so once you have this, think of cosine, because it's vertical. So we know cosine is going to be 0. So it's going to be 6 times 0. So 6 times 0, meaning the cosine of 3 halves pi is 0. Okay, so that right here is going to end up as 0. The sine of 3 halves pi, you're going to have 6 times -1. So the vertical value, 3 halves pi, is -1. So this right here gives you -1, or -6. And so you have 0, -6. That's for that first one. For the second one, same idea, same principles, same formulas. So you're going to have x and y, because it needs the coordinates. X value is r times cosine theta. Y values r times sine theta. My radius is 10, and my theta is 5 pi thirds. So 10 times cosine 5 thirds pi, or 5, however you want to read that, and then 10 sine 5 thirds pi. Okay, again, draw it out, whatever seems to help you the best. This is pi, which is 3 thirds pi. And then around here is 4 thirds pi, which means right about here is going to be 5 thirds pi. That's what we're looking at, which creates this right triangle. Reference angle would be 1/3 pi. So let me redraw this over here, just so you can see it a little bit better. So this is pi thirds, or 1/3 pi. Okay. Across from that would be square root of 3, the long side would be 1, and the hypotenuse would be 2. So keep in mind, I know that the hypotenuse on a unit circle is 1. I know this radius of this circle is 10, but I'm just doing it for the ratios of the sine and cosine. So this format, I'm going to look at cosine. Cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, so I'm going to have 1/2. So I'd have 10 times 1/2, adjacent and hypotenuse. The adjacent is positive, so this 1/2 is going to be positive. And then for the sine, I'm going to have 10 times, sine would be opposite over the hypotenuse. So square root of 3 over 2. And in this case, that square root of 3 is negative. Okay, looking at both of these, if to simplify them, 10 times 1/2 is 5. 10 times square root of 3 divided by 2. This 10 and 2 can simplify. So it would be -5 square root 3. Oops. Parentheses, and that is our answer.